folks, hi. This is the glamorous life of a musician, particularly under lockdown. Sometimes I will be up at night and I'll think, oh, does this have the firmware updated? Does this synth have, are we at 11.2 or 11.4? And I'll come out and I'll start going and checking the firmware. And then other times I just start thinking about sounds. I think like every sound in Seventh Victim is pretty much where I want it to be. Janet is fantastic, great singer. Couldn't ask for a better singer. Don't need to change anything there. Our bass sound is what I really like. It's the sound of the Normal or early Human League when it was, you know, the four guys and before they were popular. Hello, hi, Ellen. So that's good. No need to change the bass synth sound. I've got the Ormsby, the FM synth, and love that. Yeah, that's fine for me. Don't need to tweak that any. The Uno synth that does the leads, perfect. I'm good. I'm fine with that. The only thing that's bothered me, and this has bothered me since the first record, is something I'm not good at: drums. And maybe if I'm not good at it, maybe I can turn a weakness into a strength. So that's what I'm up doing tonight. This is our drum machine, and this is indeed a Volca sample. And I went with a vocal sample over a regular drum machine because I thought I could do like I did in the 80s and 90s and put my own samples in here. And they would be good samples and they would sound good. And then I started like second guessing myself. And the thing, most drum machines, by the way, will give you 16 drum sounds. Hi, Paul. This only gives you 10, so you kind of have to stop there. Can you hear that? I'll turn that up a little bit. So that low tom that you're hearing right there, that's pretty much the limit on that. So these are the sounds from the first Seventh Victim album, I believe. Let me check. If you hit this little memory thing here, it'll blink. Yeah, see, look, it's blinking under 1. Can you see that? Maybe I move my finger. I don't know. There we go, way down on the far end, because I got this thing backwards. Under where you read load backwards. There you go. So this is 1. So this is the drum sounds off the first Seventh Victim album. Ride, snare 2, some sort of closed hat. It's a side stick, and there's the bass drum. And I was pretty happy with that. I played around to get that bass drum, and I was okay with it. And then you should just set things away. Now I could buy like another drum machine. I was looking at a couple of them. The Uno drum looks good. The old SR16 is still out there. You can still buy that, the Elise's. So I thought that might be okay. But my other thing is, I'm trying not to buy anything. You know what I mean? Like it's not a save money sort of thing. These things are cheap. These things are like you open your window, somebody will just throw one of these in, like, God damn it. And then so I'm not going to spend a lot, but I just want to be happy with what I have and experiment with that. So what I did was for the new stuff that we're working on, I changed up the drum sound. Now we're going to go over to 3. There it says load. You know, I was going to move the cables out of the way, but I kind of like the cables. Looks very Dr. Frankenstein, which is what I'm up to with this project. All right, so here we go. You can tell a little bit harsher here. Yeah, that's the snare. Now I hear it out loud, I'm kind of liking it better. Another snare, more cracky. Closed hat. Side stick, that's the side stick from the first one. You don't need, no one needs industrial side stick. Oh, jeez. That side stick had a lot more oomph to it. Yay. What have you repurposed? I haven't really repurposed anything. That's it. Everything is, once we got to all hardware with the Uno synth, it just stayed. It's just I've got this, I'm not messing with it. So sometimes I miss the laptop, some of the sounds that came out of it, but real pain in the ass dragging it around live. Hi, Eric. So we're just talking about, if you just joined, we're talking about my years-long battle with drum sounds and what this is, which is the Volca sample, which is where we get our drums from. By the way, this motherfucker freaked out on us one night. We were playing the Century, and on the last song, it just decided to go bonkers on us, and while the crowd was horrified, Janet and I were relatively pleased. We're like, yeah, we didn't know. And so actually this got the nickname Ginger Baker because Ginger Baker would do odd things. So, all right, so we're getting over, here's the kick drum sound, bass drum. And I'm loving this now that I hear it live, but when I'm putting it through the thing, it's just not. People are laughing. Why are you laughing at my kick drum sound? I like that kick drum sound. I don't know. Maybe it's like some sort of evil Bond villain going, "Ha ha ha! Your kick drum sound will never be as nice as mine." But yeah, here. Yeah, I like it because first of all, it sounds like artillery going off in the distance. But I don't know how well it's translating. So tonight, what I'm going to do is see memory 3, which is where we are now. Again, you can see that blinking. I know it's blinking in reverse, but I have to turn these camera around so I can see what I'm doing. I like the kick. See, people, that's the thing. But you're going to like it on the new album. That's, it's. I've got these nice. I tweaked everything I had, got it all perfect. I went to the old sampler. You can't see the old sampler. It weighs about 1,000 pounds. I keep it down there. I went to the old sampler. I got some samples out there. I tweaked and I worked, and now I'm double thinking. See, love that kick drum sound. Really? God. You know what? I need to. God. I wish I could smuggle some stuff out to you folks, because Janet and I are working on some stuff. And when we're all done, you can hear the new kick drum sound. But the thing is, I'm obsessing on this. I am really. You should just go. Drums, you should just grab some sounds that you like. Maybe if they're already in there, because usually people put them together. Except the reason I don't have the Korg, I don't use the Korg drums, or whatever they call it. Korg Beats, I think, was the first one. And then they came out with the drum, which sounds better, is because the snare was not good. Like everybody said, good sounding drum machine, snare not so much. I used to have an Elise's HR 16, sounded good. Okay, so getting back to this, so I'm going through. These are nice and harsh. When you compare that, I'm going to reach all the way down here. If you compare that to the first, the samples on the first one, not so hard. Yeah, don't overthink. See, that's where I am on this. But I think my development space is over here too. All right, so let's see. I don't know what the heck's on there right now. I think tonight what I'll be doing. Ooh, what are we using for a kick there? Love is the drug and I need the score. Yeah, so what? That kick's better? Yeah, I see, that's the thing. I can't. Drums are my weakness. I can sit down any sound like, oh, that's perfect. That's the perfect sound. This is driving me crazy and has been driving me crazy. And the more time that I get off to work on this, like the more time that we are under lockdown, the more time I'll wake up in the middle of the night and go, I wonder what happened if I just play. So you got a bunch of parameters here. Maybe I'll go in, I'll reverse some stuff. I'll play around with the starting point. Eventually, I will get the drum sound that I want. Which is weird because I've already recorded all the drum sounds. So you're stuck with the drum sounds for the new album, unless, because everything is pretty much recorded. We need to put the polish on. It's going to take a while. Bring Janet back in. We're going to play around the vocals, make sure all the lyrics are perfect, all that stuff. So that'll take a while. But the thing is, the drum sound has been just everything else perfect. I can recommend Volca Bass. Get one of those if you can. Again, these things are like super cheap. Then the Volca FM. Especially if you're old and crazy like me and you like to stay up late, like me and Brian Eno are staying up late tonight working on FM synth. I don't know that for a fact, but I know it in here somewhere in my heart. I know Brian Eno is up tonight tweaking synth sounds. Otherwise, he wouldn't be Eno. Okay, ha 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 ha. Beautiful. I'll take that as an endorsement. So this is just driving me crazy. The other thing I could do is I've got over here. Hang on, don't go anywhere. I got one of these. Got the Akai. This is the Akai MPX8 that holds like 8 samples, and I use that live with Seventh Victim for the samples. So when you hear Orly doing her little chant at the beginning of Jamie's Crying, or the Susie, Sarah, the names of snakes, that's coming off of that. But that also does drums. But again, it's only 8, and I tried to run it before. See, that's the whole thing, is you can't go too much off the map, because as far as the BeatStep Pro knows, this right here, that's a ride. So you can't move anything else into that spot, or you have to go in and move all the drum parts around. It's a bit of a nightmare. So so you have to map that out. So I'm kind of stuck with 10, and so that's where I am now. So love you guys. Exactly. Well, we love Eno. Everybody loves Eno. even though Eno did urinate in the Duchamp urinal, the Armut urinal at the Met. Yeah, Eno got blasted and whizzed in it. They should add that to the tour. I think somebody else urinated in a gallery. Look that up. Go find that on YouTube. All right, so I've babbled for too long, but I just want you folks to know, up tonight playing with drum sounds, I'm going to be in my development area 2, and maybe, I don't know, probably going to stick with the ones I put in, and then we have the dichotomy between the first album and the second album with the drum sounds. But drums have been the bane of my existence, and I know I should be keeping them simple because I don't do them well, but yeah. I just sometimes you wake up, if you've been doing this electronic stuff for long enough, sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night and go, is there a better way? And that's where I am tonight. All right, thank you everybody. I hope I didn't bore you, and I'll catch up with you. Hey, I'm back. I'm still awake. I hope you're still awake. I need to make another cup of tea, but so here's what you missed. Here's what happened in the interim of when I was working on the last thing and right now. So right after I stopped talking to you folks, I mean, immediately after I had light bulb go off, I thought, I left in, and you should always do this, I left in some of the stock sounds, the sounds that came with the Volca sample. Because the drum sounds were pretty good, and I thought I could do something with them. I thought, why not go back and torture those and make them grittier and nastier and more kind of the stuff I was thinking of. So like this is the ride symbol off of the first album, and then this is I think I tortured that, and I came up with this ride symbol. I kind of like that better. And then what I did was I went and here's the bass drum of the first album. And then there's the bass drum. I tortured this thing. And I was pretty happy with that. I was really kind of enjoying that. I thought, yeah, I'm on to something. And then I went and I gave a listen to the other sounds that I played you before, the sounds that I worked on from, and these were samples I'd owned over the years and tweaked and messed with. Here's that bass drum. Yeah, I kind of like that better. It's in the same sort of range as this one, but I don't know, it's just a lot nastier. Well, that's not it. That's the tom. Somewhere around here is that damn bass drum. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong thing. Here we go. So I realized, okay, that is actually good. So then, and this is going to be low tech when I show you this. I'm going to show you what I did next. I thought, I'm overthinking this. I am definitely overthinking this, and it's kind of a tough thing to do because a band sound is like a house of cards. You pull out or you add the wrong card, and it goes to hell. So I have to be super tread lightly with this. So I want to show you. This is a track from the upcoming new album. You actually got to hear if you have Electronic Saviors, the new one, you got to hear the demo from it. But this is going to be low tech. I'm going to point the camera at this. So hang on, please. Here we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to mute that bass drum. Or I'm going to solo that bass drum. That's the word I'm looking for. All right, so here's what the bass drum sounds like. This is number 3 if you were following the other ones. And that is actually a pretty damn good bass drum. I'm pretty happy with that. Even if I take the compressor off, I have a compressor on that. Even if I take the compressor off, I still kind of like that a lot. So I think I was on the right path, and that is kind of important. You know what? Let's hear how the bass drum and the snare work together. Yeah, see, I'm mighty happy with that combo. So I think that the Humongous from the Road Warrior, I've been thinking about the Road Warrior a lot. I think that the Humongous spoke for an entire generation of electronic musicians when he said, just walk away. You probably have something good. Don't overthink it. From this point, all right, I've got 3 different drum kits. I don't need to mess around anymore. I committed to the one. I have some drum advice for you. Oh no, it's the advice. You must have seen the advice one. Yes, where people walk up and say, and yeah, we were talking about this on the last Dead Milkman video. The fact that people will walk up, and this actually started with a thing that Stephen Archer from Ego Likeness had written about called "Fuck That Guy." But he had, I've actually tied the Milkmen together with this. Weird. I know I'm not supposed to mention either. Milkman fans are not big on Seventh Victim. I'm going to turn this around, but the yeah, Stephen Archer basically said people go, "Oh, you should cut the frequency on that." So I'm pretty happy with this though. This is the combo of the two. That snare is like giving me what I like to call artillery drums. So, oh, okay, yeah, just watch the video. Yes. Yeah. The Milkman video was all about advice and the fact that we often get given terrible advice. People will walk around. If you're a friend of mine, I probably asked your advice, or I often ask people advice, like I'm doing now. I'm like asking you folks, how's that sound? So I hope you're okay with that. Otherwise, I have to go back and record all those drums. But if you want, though, this is a track off the new album. This is called "The Drums Have a Dark Tinge to Them." Yeah, I'm sticking with those drums. Yeah, and this is here's a track. Hope the volume's going to be okay. Again, this is super low tech because it's late at night and I'm just overthinking things. I just want to show people how this is a track off the new album. This is Wheel and the Knife, and the demo went out on ES4. But
farmers field in the month of the wheel, in the season of the knife, in the year of the fool, when the shadows come to life, there's a song that they...
So I think that works pretty well. I think it's a pretty good mix. So yeah, that's kind of where I am with that. So that was my point, is I think sometimes you can overthink stuff, and I think I was overthinking stuff. I think I've earned some sleep. So yeah, so now I'm back friendly with this thing, unless it pulls another Ginger Baker at a show again and goes bonkers. But everybody has, a band where one of the members is a problem individual with a possible drug habit, and that's this thing. This thing really needs to go to Passages Malibu. But maybe that's part of why I love it, because it is just really bizarre. But yeah, I went in, like I said, earlier. You can actually go in and tweak parameters on this, which I did, and I was blindly tweaking them, which is what I recommend. I just like closing my eyes, reaching down, grabbing a knob, and twisting it till I got a sound that I found interesting. And then I did all that, and still went back and liked the earlier drums. All right, so thank you all for bearing with me on that. I really appreciate it, and have a great night. Bye.